Hello there. How are you doing today? I hope that you're feeling settled and that you're ready for a quiet story. This is a Fireside Tale, and tonight's story is called The Bee That Couldn't Fly. So, find a comfortable place. Let's take a deep breath. And let's begin. One morning, after a night of rain, a garden sat very still. Leaves held tiny drops of water. The soil was dark and soft, and everything felt quiet, as if the garden was waking slowly. On one leaf, near the edge of the flower bed, a bee was sitting, not moving. It tried to fly. Its wings buzzed, but it only lifted a little, and then it dropped back down again. The bee tried once more. It was a small effort, a hopeful lift. Then back to the leaf. A child noticed. They were walking through the garden, not rushing, just looking. And something about the bee made them stop. They crouched down beside the leaf, very still and very quiet. The bee wasn't hurt. It didn't look broken. It just couldn't fly. The child looked closer. The wings were damp, fine and delicate, but heavy with rain. But the child didn't touch the bee. They didn't pick it up, and they didn't try to fix it. They simply looked around the garden. And then they had an idea. Very carefully, they slid their hands under the leaf. Slowly, so the bee stayed just where it was. And gently, they moved it. Not far, just a few steps into a patch of sunlight. There, the light rested, warm and steady on the leaf. The child sat back and waited. The garden stayed quiet, and a breeze passed through the flowers. And somewhere nearby, another bee drifted past. Time moved slowly. Then the bee shifted. One leg, then another. Its wings gave a small, uncertain buzz. Again, a little stronger. The sunlight caught them now. They were drying, warming. The buzzing grew steadier, more certain. And then the bee lifted. Only a little at first. A small circle above the leaf. It hovered, as if remembering how to be in the air. Then it rose higher, past the flowers, past the edge of the garden, and away, over the hedge, and out of sight. The child stayed where they were, watching the place that it had gone. The garden was moving again now. Bees passing, leaves stirring, and light shifting across the soil. And for the rest of that morning, whenever a bee passed through the garden, the child wondered if it might be the one that had been waiting for the sun. And that's the story of the bee that couldn't fly until it could. So if you ever see something that's small and it needs a little help, you don't always have to fix it. Sometimes you just have to notice and wait. That's Giles. Good night.